Hello students, today we are going to start Poem 8 on Killing a Tree by Jeev Patel. Let us read more about the poet. Jeev Patel is famous Indian poet. He was born on 18 August 1940 in Mumbai. He started his education at Xavier's High School and Grant Medical College, Mumbai. Now he lives in Mumbai, where he is a general physician. On the other hand, he is also a playwright, painter, and artist. He also belongs to the group of writers who are involved in Green Movement, which is about to protect the environment. Now let us understand the central idea of the poem. The poem on killing a tree is a beautiful poem. It is built around the idea that trees are our lifeline. Therefore, no harm should be done to them. The poet clearly conveys the message that trees should not be cut. They are pious like human beings. They are precious and valuable. So, every effort should be made to protect them. First stanza. It takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown, slowly consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out if its leprous hide sprouting leaves. Jab means sudden rough blow. Leprous hide means discolored bark. A simple cut does not destroy a tree. A tree grows gradually. It is rooted in the soil. A plant takes nutrition from the soil to grow into a big tree. The tree is firmly bound with the soil. It takes in sunlight, water, and air to grow into a strong trunk and have numerous leaves. Second stanza. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will raise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, which if unchecked will expand again to former size. Hack means cut roughly by striking heavy blows. Humans cut and chop the bark of trees into many pieces, but that is not sufficient to destroy the tree. The point of the tree which gets cut gives out sap just like a human being bleeds. Gradually, this wood heals, and from there new branches start growing again. Third stanza. No, the root has to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be roped, tied, and pulled out, snapped out, or pulled and entirely out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed, the source white and wet, the most sensitive hidden 4 years inside the earth. Anchoring earth means trees are held securely with the help of the roots in the earth. Snapped out means chopped out. The poet says that in order to kill the tree, it has to be uprooted. One has to separate the tree from the earth which supports it. The roots of the tree bind the tree with the soil in the pit of the earth. From there, the most sensitive and hidden part of the tree, the roots, have to be detached. The roots are white in color and are damp. Last stanza. Then the matter of scorching and chalking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. Scorching and chalking means the drying up of the tree after being uprooted. Once the tree has been uprooted, then gradually it withers and dries up with the action of heat and wind. The trunk will become brown, twist, and will harden. Finally, the tree will die this way. Now let us understand some poetic devices. It takes much time to kill a tree, alliteration figure of speech, because the consonant sound T is repeated in the words takes time and tree for poetic effect. Next line. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. Lightus figure of speech, because negation is used to convey an affirmative meaning that is difficult to kill a tree. Next line. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust. Here there are 4 figures of speech, that is metonymy, internal rhyme, tautology, and metaphor. Metonymy because the word, the earth, represents the food that the tree gets from the earth. Internal rhyme because Rhyming words consuming, rising, and feeding are used in the same sentence for poetic effect. Tautology because unnecessary use of words consuming and feeding which have the same meaning. And metaphor because there is indirect comparison between a mother and the earth. The point of comparison is to feed and help to grow. Next line. Absorbing years of sunlight, air, and water. Anticlimax figure of speech because there is a descending order of resources sunlight, air, and water. Next line. And out of his leprous heights sprouting leaves. Here there are two figure of speech, that is metaphor and transferred epithet. Metaphor because there is indirect comparison between a leper's skin and the height of the tree. The point of comparison is to be decayed. Transferred epithet because the adjective leprous has been transferred from a person to the bark of a tree with which it is closely associated. Second stanza. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Here there are two figure of speech, that is tautology and litotes. Tautology because unnecessary use of words hack and chop which have the same meaning, and litotes because negation is used to convey a positive meaning that hacking and chopping will hardly kill a tree. Next line. Not so much pain will do it. Here there are two figure of speech, that is litotes and metonymy. Litotes because negation is used to convey positive meaning that giving a tree pain will hardly kill it. And metonymy because the word it represents the killing of the tree. Next line. The bleeding bark will heal. Here there are four figure of speech, that is alliteration, metaphor, personification, and synecdoche. Alliteration because the consonant sound B is repeated in the words bleeding and bark. Metaphor because there is indirect comparison between skin of a person and bark of tree. The point of comparison is to heal after bleeding. Personification because the bark is given the human quality of bleeding and healing. And synecdoche because the part bark stands for the tree. Next line. And from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs. Here there are three figure of speech, that is synecdoche, alliteration, and antithesis. Synecdoche because part twigs stand for the tree. Alliteration because the consonant sound G is repeated in the words green and ground. And antithesis because opposite words ground and rise are used in the same sentence. Next line. Miniature bows which if unchecked will expand again to former size. Here there are three figure of speech, that is synecdoche, alliteration, and antithesis. Synecdoche because part bow stands for the tree. Alliteration because the consonant sound W is repeated in the words which and will. And antithesis because opposite words miniature and expand are used in the same sentence. Third stanza. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. Here there are three figure of speech, that is litotes, metaphor, and synecdoche. Litotes because negation is used to convey the affirmative meaning that the tree will refrain from drying any other way than pulling its roots. Metaphor because the earth is compared to an anchor. The point of comparison is to hold on. Synecdoche because the part root stands for the tree. Next line. It is to be roped, tied, and pulled out, snapped out. Here there are three figure of speech, that is climax, repetition, and tautology. Climax because there is an ascending order of actions roped, tied, pulled, and snapped out. Repetition because the word out is repeated for poetic effect, and tautology because unnecessary use of words roped and tied which have the same meaning. Next line. Or pulled out entirely out from the earth cave. Here there are two figure of speech, that is metaphor and repetition. Metaphor because the earth is compared to a cave. The point of comparison is to be a hollow. Repetition because the word out is repeated for poetic effect. Next line. And the strength of the tree exposed. Metonymy figure of speech because the word strength represents the roots of the tree. Next line. The source white and wet. Here there are two figure of speech, that is metonymy and alliteration. Metonymy because the word source represents the roots of the tree, and alliteration because the consonant sound W is repeated in the words white and wet. Next line. The most sensitive hidden for years inside the earth. Metonymy figure of speech because The word most sensitive, hidden for years, represents the root of the tree. Last stanza. Then the matter of scorching and chalking. Here there are two figures of speech, that is internal rhyme and alliteration. Internal rhyme because rhyming words scorching and chalking are used in the same sentence, and alliteration because the consonant sound th is repeated in the words then in the next line. In sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting and withering. Here there are two figures of speech, that is internal rhyme and climax. Internal rhyme because rhyming words browning, hardening, twisting and withering are used in the same sentence for poetic effect. And climax because there is an ascending order of actions, browning, hardening, twisting and withering. Next line, and then it is done. Here there are two figures of speech, that is epihuism and metonymy. Epihuism because unpleasant idea of the death of the tree is spoken in a pleasant manner through the word done. And metonymy because the words it is done represents the killing of the tree. So I hope students you would have understood the poem and poetic devices. Thank you.